Listen, the hype is real. This is not typical early training camp hype. A-listers are out. We're going to tell you who that is. We're going to give you the Sam Howell update, the tracker. We're going to give you comings and goings. All of that on the Daily Commanders update for 28 July with JP Flaim from the Junkies. Let's go. Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the Daily Commanders update here on Ref the District, where you get Daily Commanders updates every single day. Make sure you hit that like, the subscribe, and the notifications. We appreciate all of you. Comment on this video. Let us know how you're feeling. We're talking a lot about the hype around this team right now in training camp and everything that seems to be going really well. So we're going to talk more about that in today's show. We've got a great show for you today. All of the news, all of the updates from day 3 of camp. We've got your comings and goings. And we've got your Sam Howell tracker. Right now, he's 1-1. Where is he going to go? But I'm not going to do it all by myself today. I've got a fantastic guest, friend of the show, Glass Joe JP on Twitter. It's JP Flaim from the Junkies. Let's go talk to JP. All right, JP, thank you for taking some time to join us here at Ref the District.
No, man, it's always fun. Thanks for having me.
All right, absolutely. So what I'm kind of wondering, first of all, is the hype is pretty big this preseason or this training camp. Is it a real hype? You've been covering the team, watching the team for 25 plus years. Is it different this year than it has been for the last 20?
I think it is. You know, there have been times when people have been hyped and fired up.
Years.
Maybe a change of coach, maybe some personnel choices. But here, there's just excitement that the albatross is behind us. Dan Snyder, just look at the record. You know, sometimes it's unfathomable. 2 playoff wins in 24 years. It is so pathetic. So now there's hope. We saw a sea of burgundy and gold at our party at the Pen. It was awesome. Josh Harris bought everybody a beer. He's connecting with the fans. You see Mark Ein, Magic Johnson. It's their mission to connect with the fans. I think that is real.
So as an astute listener to the Junkies that I am, I noticed something, especially this week, JP, is that you seem to be kind of the top guy in terms of believing in the change. Like Eric's the big fan of everybody, and you're pretty much have been kind of critical and from afar. But for some reason, it seems like you are the biggest bandwagoner this year.
I don't know if that is in terms of the record in wins and losses.
No.
Field.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily a Howell believer. I'm not a Howell hater. I loved him in college.
Yeah.
But the guy's had 11 completions as a pro right now, and people are getting a little carried away there. But look, the record speaks for itself. Snyder was terrible as the owner. It's not all his fault, but it just never worked with Snyder. Now there's some hope. Maybe I'm swayed. I met Josh Harris's brother at the party. And he said, we've done this before. We had Mark Ein on the show today, and he said something similar. Josh has done this before, whether it's with the Sixers or the Devils. And they do say it's going to take some time, but they're not coming from outside of sports. They've been in sports. So they know at least how to do certain things. I mean, Mark Ein's putting on the tennis event. He knows how to make that world-class, first-class. So they're going to try to do that with the Commanders. It may be hard to influence what happens on the field right off the bat, but these guys can maybe connect with the fans, make the game day experience better, which have, you know, people have complained for years and years about the game day experience.
Yeah, for sure. And you also on today's show, you had DC Mayor Bowser on. Did she convince you that that they're going to get the stadium back into DC, specifically in RFK?
I think that it's going to happen. I don't know that she sold me on it. You know, we've been talking about this for years now. It doesn't seem like from afar the Virginia options are great. I don't think a lot of the fan base is going to love to go out to Dumfries, for example.
Yeah.
Maryland, they don't seem as interested in helping the stadium situation. Maybe it's going to change with the new governor, Wes Moore. Will they stay at FedEx? I guess that's a possibility, but it seems like DC is the play.
Yeah. Now, you've been running around all day today. I don't know if you even saw, but your guy, Kevin Durant, was at training camp today. I mean, how many more sort of A-listers are we going to see hyping up the jumping on the Commanders bandwagon.
I mean, I think you're going to see some, but let's be honest. Kevin Durant has been coming for years and years.
That's he's coming during the bad years.
Let me make it clear. I was a big fan of the Slim Reaper years ago. I've kind of lost my zeal the last couple of seasons as he's turned heel.
Yeah, with his burner accounts and everything. So let's get to on the field real quick and just give me an idea of really what you think. We all know the key is Howell and really the offensive line. But what do you think is going to be the outcome of this year? I mean, it's a very broad question, but what are your projections for this year?
Well, I mean, it does come down to Howell. I think that we all believe the defense can be one of the better defenses in the league. How great can it be? Sorry about my hand movement here. But I do think they're going to have a really solid defense. They have a couple rookies in the secondary, and we're going to see what happens with Chase Young. Could he come back and have 7.5 to 10 sacks? Maybe. Or is he going to be like he was in the first half of the season before he got hurt in his sophomore season? But all beyond that, they had a really good defense last year. Bringing most of the guys back, I think they're going to have a really good defense. Offense, it comes down to how good is this offensive line? They've brought in a couple guys. Are they going to gel? Are they good? And then it comes down to Sam. We can debate all you want about whether Heineke was lucky or not. He still finished with 12 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions, 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. Is Sam Howell going to be able to duplicate that? I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Well, JP, I'm not going to keep you too long. I know it's 100 degrees outside right now, although you do look like you're in a good spot there with the pool and everything. I kind of envy. Are you going to jump in after we're done?
I don't know. Unfortunately, I have some family stuff helping somebody move. So I had to scramble and find a location here. I did not bring a bathing suit, but I'm not above going in just my shorts.
Just jumping in. All right.
So anyway, I've got them 7-10. I'm curious, Stoney, what do you got them going this year?
I'm right there with you. I don't like to hate on Sam Howell, but I'm kind of the same way. I'm not a big believer in we can say all we want about maybe he should have been a first rounder the year before, but he was a 5th round pick for a reason and these teams, they don't usually miss on late round quarterbacks. You know what I mean? They don't usually. How many 5th round and later quarterbacks are usually franchise changers? I mean, you probably count on one hand. So 8 and 9 is probably what I think. But I'm certainly hoping that all this goodwill that's been happening since the ownership change kind of just changes the fortunes for Washington. We need it.
One would hope. And like I said, I think that for fans that go to games, and I do think there's going to be a bump in attendance big time, especially early in the season. These guys are going to work hard. They know all of the complaints. I look at Josh Harris, and he's a shorter guy, but I look at a guy who's a grinder. Just you could tell that guy has spent many a night, sleeping a couple hours. Like that guy stays at the office and grinds.
Yeah.
And so I think they're going to do everything they can do to influence the game day experience and to connect with the fans. And then it's just going to probably take some time. I mean, think about the Sixers, the trust the process, and even I'm not a student of hockey, but it took a while for the Devils, who made the playoffs this year, to turn things around. They went young. And so maybe that's what's going to happen here with Washington. The difference is there are some pieces in place here for the Commanders.
Yeah.
If the quarterback can play better than the quarterbacks last year, then you would think they've got a shot to make the playoffs because they were a 500 team despite Carson Wentz and his ineffectiveness and Taylor Heineke, who proved to be ineffective down the stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like I said, I think the hype is different. I feel it. You've even said you felt it out the bullpen and just kind of in general calls you're getting on your show and everything. So tomorrow at practice on Saturday, there's supposed to be 10 to 15,000. That's how many tickets they've given away. That's massive, even in 100-degree heat. So things are changing. Fortunes are changing here in Washington. At least we hope so. And JP, hopefully your fortunes are changing. You can get away from the family obs and relax the rest of this weekend. And again, we appreciate you joining us here on Ref the District.
All right, Sonny. Sorry for the shaky camera.
No, it's awesome. Just appreciate you taking the time. And when we come back, we're going to talk all about today's updates and our Sam Howell tracker. And again, thanks, JP, from Sports Junkies. Every weekday, 6 to 10 a.m. on 106.7 The Fan. Once again, a big shout out to JP Flaim from the Sports Junkies for taking time. You see, he was helping his family do some moving, and he still took some time to hang out with us here on Ref the District. So let's get to today's updates. A lot going on today, of course. Again, day 3 of camp. Another big day for the defense. The defense seemed to dominate again today. That's normal. Their concepts are not as difficult to understand and prepare for. So in every training camp, the defense is always going to be ahead of the offense. It's the case here in Washington, but don't look too hard into that. B-Rob went to the podium today. He's been super, super impressive in camp so far. A lot out of the backfield. So look for B-Rob to make a huge impact on the offense. At the podium, he did say, look, health-wise, he's completely different than last year. You remember last year he got shot. Now in training camp he was fine. He didn't get shot till like 2 weeks before the season started, and he said he never felt normal during the course of the year, and now he does. We remember in training camp he was dominating. He took Gibby's job away. That's how good he was doing in camp. So good to see him continuing to be healthy and to really stand out. De'Ami Brown, what's going on here? This is not a case of just some unknown guy making plays. This is a guy we've kind of expected. He's a 3rd-round pick, for crying out loud. So a lot was expected of him, and now here he is. Maybe he's finally got it. Maybe it's the familiarity with Sam Howell, but he's been doing most of his pass catching with the second teamers with Jacoby Brissett, but still he's showing up. Cam Curl, who has been asked a lot about his contract extension. He had a big day today. He had 1 pick, the only pick of the day, I do believe. And Chase has been getting a lot of love. He looks explosive. He's been doing some things to where he's had some inside moves. Really, his whole career, he's had 2 moves. Bull rush and go around the outside. And now all of a sudden they're saying that he's making a lot of inside moves. Big year for Chase, contract year, healthy as he's been since his rookie year. So a lot of expected of Chase, and he seems to be performing well in camp so far. Sam Howell did have his first interception of camp, the one we talked about to Cam Curl. No big deal. Sam Howell did his usual, had a few struggles, but mostly he was on top of his game. Good, because the very next drive, he went out there and threw a touchdown to De'Ami when De'Ami was running with the ones. Deron Payne, who missed the first 2 practices because of a toe injury. Ron Rivera said it's not a big deal. Deron Payne was back at practice today. Full practice. So that was good to see. And he said Sam Cosmi at guard is going to be a force to reckon with. He said Sam is really, really improved. And now that he's inside at guard for the full time for the first time, he expects big things, and he's been going up against him, so he would know. They had more run plays in practice today than they usually do the first couple of days. Really, they don't have a lot of run plays because they're not in pads yet. So the linemen are not going to be hitting each other as much as they would if they were in pads. So run plays are all about hitting guys, so they haven't done as many run plays, but they did put a few more in today. So yeah, so just a couple of things left to update you on of all the things we talked about before. Our next thing is our Howell tracker, right? I got to get my markers out. I got my red and my green. You see, I came totally prepared here as I'm getting ready while I'm talking. Our Howell tracker. So just those who aren't familiar with the Howell tracker, basically, we read between the lines of what all the beat reporters are saying on what kind of a day Sam Howell is having out there. And so we try to get an idea by the end of camp, is he ready? Last year, we did one with Carson Wentz. It wasn't written like this. We just kind of talked about it, and we were like, there were more down days than there were up days in camp. Beat reporters are not going to say he sucked, he had a bad day, but they will say things that you can read between the lines saying he had a bad day. So today, what are we going to use? Are we going to use the bad day or good day? Looks like we're going good day. It was a good day for Sam Howell out there. Everybody said he played pretty well. That's the marker. That's not me. So we're going to mark this up on July 28th. Look at me struggling to get it in camera. I don't even have the date up there yet, but I will put the date up there, July 28th. A good day for Sam Howell. That's our Sam Howell. That's our Sam Howell tracker. So last thing, comings and goings. Well, as of this recording, we did not have any changes to the roster. It still sits at 89. After they released Xavier Henderson yesterday, no changes as of now. I'm sure it'll probably change by the time this comes out, and we'll just update you on that tomorrow on the Daily Commanders Unit update. Daily Commanders Unit. I've been doing this here. We've been doing this for 2 months, and I said Daily Commanders Unit. Daily Commanders update here on Ref the District. So as always, leave a comment if you liked anything that we're talking about. If you're getting hype, the hype is real, y'all. Kevin Durant coming out. Yes, he's always been a fan, even through the bad times, but he doesn't come out to training camp, and he was out there today. So the hype is real. We talked to JP Flaim about this season, about the hype, about where he thinks the stadium might be and what he thinks the overall record is going to be. So make sure you leave comments on all that stuff. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit that notification button so you know when we're putting out content. Appreciate all of y'all for checking us out. And until next time, be a fan.